Whoa.
Whoa, now.
Whoa.
Spooky, scary.
Oh. No one can. Oh shit.
You're gonna have to slide. Oh, I think that's just because I went. Oh,
I was gonna say, I'm in my usual position.
there we go. I think that's where it is usually.
Approximately.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
We are up.
We're back. It's been too long.
John's already killing it as a mod. I'm so proud.
Wow, nice.
I gave him the power.
Oh no, it's spooky. Just kidding. I trust him more than I trust anyone else in my life.
That's fair. That's fair.
We are back after a long absence. Not as long as our last one. It's been a while.
No, that's weird. That's new.
What?
My watermark usually doesn't go on live streams, but it is now, and it's like in that corner that the chat's in. So
it's branding.
So that's weird. That's okay. If people need to read something, they can just move it out of the way.
Okay, but like in fairness, I've replayed these videos. You can barely see what the chat says.
Is it too small? Because is it too small?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, well,
let's edit that live on the air.
Ooh.
But don't block out too much of my beautiful face, please, God.
And we can slide this down and probably over a little bit because I think that's the maximum extent.
We'll assume. Hello,
There we
Justin. The boys are indeed back in town.
All right, is that good? I think that's going to be more readable. I think.
More read.
What am I, a professional?
Hell no.
No,
Hell no. We are strictly amateurs, but we are professionals at seeking the truth.
You're damn right.
Damn right.
You're damn right. Wow. It is incredibly small. Okay, all right, yep. All right,
We're working on it.
I think it's a little better, unless it's still not okay. Then
we're just boys learning how to do it, learning how to run our conspiracy theory internet program.
we can fix it again. We can make it bigger
We'll
if
fix
it's
it in
still
post.
Like too sketch. Well, let's full screen this and see.
Oh, that's fine.
That's more readable than last time.
Like, you guys don't. Let's be real here. No one reads it.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless they need to.
I don't know. I feel like my stuff's encoded to be in 1080p, but YouTube just hates me, so.
YouTube. Well, yeah. Last time we got a copyright notice. For our
Yeah,
live
we did.
stream.
We did get a
We got
copyright
in trouble.
notice.
The man's trying to shut us down already.
Two different publishing organizations claimed the exact same section of content. It's like, that's not how that works.
We're not even trying to claim we own it.
No,
we just played a silly number station to creep ourselves out.
That's all it was. Is just it was like 30 seconds of one of them, and 2 people claimed it.
It's whatever, my man.
I was really confused.
That's why Rex Tillerson got fired, because he found out the truth about the aliens. But we'll get there first.
We'll get there first.
Or second. We'll get there second.
No, let's start with that. What do you know?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, nothing that hasn't been relayed to me via books or movies. So next, nothing.
Aliens. Aliens.
Aliens.
Aliens is what
Aliens.
is what we are doing today.
The topic is aliens.
In the word of my Lord and Savior Giorgio Tsoukalos, aliens. I love that man.
Alien. He's like a prophet.
Do you know what
He's
his
like Moses?
Do you want to know what his previous profession?
Yes,
was?
so badly.
He was Mr. Olympia, professional bodybuilder. And he
spell that name right now.
Just Giorgio.
Oh no, that's not how you spell Giorgio.
Just wing it and it'll pop up at some point.
Armani?
No, Tsoukalos. T-S. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. Yep, it's that guy.
Yep.
And then if I put bodybuilder, is it going to come up?
I would hope, but his wiki said that he was Mr. Olympia. Because he's pretty ripped.
Sorry, side tangent.
Yeah,
I need to know if
we're
he's
investigating.
actually ripped. Bodybuilding promoter.
Ah, damn.
And he volunteered in them. All right, so we've already found some truth tonight.
Because there was that meme picture where he's just absolutely fucking ripped.
Well, I
on the
believe he's
phone.
ripped. You'd have to be in that profession.
You got to fight off the aliens.
Fight not in the government
In the
against the men in black. They're everywhere. You can't trust anyone. Not in that profession. Not in our profession.
I do believe he is also the person that organizes Alien Con.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So, if we need to go through him if we want to make an appearance.
At Alien Con.
At Alien Con.
At Alien, yes.
I want to go to Alien Con.
I could go to
in
Alien
Georgia.
Con as a witness, an experiencer,
Oh boy. Okay.
shooken down to the core.
So, like, man, how do we want to do this? Because I feel like if you're here, you know that Pierce has had an experience. Plus, he just alluded to it. So, like, we've been building to this for, like, a month and a half, 2 months now. So, like, do we want to fuck around and talk about general alien shit and then get to that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let's leave the
heavy shit for later.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I have multiple like stories to tell,
Okay.
but that's the real shakeroo
The real shakeroo.
of them all.
Oh boy, I'm nervous. I'm apprehensive.
You're not the one that had the problems.
That's fair. I'm nervous for you. And for okay, so aliens.
Aliens.
They're out there.
You're confident in that?
Yeah.
Exposed.
Well, I mean, like, look, I've read books, I've seen movies, and you claim to have seen some shit, and I trust you right now. I trust you. Until I hear otherwise, I trust you. But, yeah.
Have you always been a believer in aliens?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember when I was very young, probably like 10-ish. I got hooked on, not Ancient Aliens, but what's the other History Channel one they had?
UFO Files?
I think so. Yeah, I got hooked on that show, and then I kept hitting up our local library for them alien books, having them order ones for me.
Really?
And I chowed down on that alien content and became very steadfast in my belief that they are out there. It would be ignorant to assume that we are
Alone?
Alone, yes, that we are alone. Arrogant, even.
I'm pretty sure that, okay, logically speaking, you can't deny the fact that there is other life in the universe once you get to the realization of how big the universe actually is compared to how small and insignificant we are here.
Yeah.
There's more of a likelihood that there are than aren't because of how never-ending the universe is.
I mean, I think the real issue here is, like, there's got to be life out there. I mean, I feel like that's inevitable.
Right.
It's just, is it intelligent? I think that's the kicker.
Right. Intelligent alien life would be harder to find.
And a much more terrifying prospect. Like, I'm okay if it's like a couple microbes out dicking around on Mars. But as soon as it gets to be like a fucking Arrival bipedal weird squid thing.
That was such a good movie.
That was a great movie.
I loved that movie.
Man, that was spooky.
I want to speak through big smoky ink globs.
I like it, but look, I don't want to talk to them.
Hey, and you never know, when we finally are able to research Europa more, we might find those microbes easy enough.
Say all of that again, but also explain everything.
Europa?
Yeah.
It is a moon of... See, there's Saturn and Jupiter. I always get it mixed up with, like, Titan.
Okay.
But it's basically just a big block, or a big ball of ice.
Okay.
So the exterior, since it's exposed to the elements, is frozen.
Yes.
The inside is warmed by the gravitational effects of the planet that it orbits.
Okay.
So it's not frozen, it's actually liquid water.
Okay.
And the only reason we know this is, one, we can see that the outside is covered in ice, and two, we can see the eruptions of the steam vents on the inside, and they breach the surface.
That's spooky.
So, it's basically just a giant floating ocean in space.
A nice little snow globe.
Yeah.
Floating around.
You shake it up, and all the little Iliums inside are like, oh my god!
No!
So, we'll probably find something in there. Probably microbe life.
Well, that'd be rad as fuck.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And then obviously with the recent discovery of liquid water on Mars' surface, it wouldn't be unlikely to find fossilized microbes in the near future.
Yeah.
We just got to bring back the correct rock.
That'll be hard. Although Donald Trump said today that he would like to start a space force similar to the Air Force.
No shit.
Yeah. So
That's
maybe
rad as
maybe
fuck.
this is imminent.
Oh.
Maybe we will finally have an organization
The
that will
Space Force.
research and pioneer expeditions into space.
According to Justin Kipp, it is Jupiter.
Jupiter. Exposed!
Alright.
Sweetie, sweetie.
I don't remember when I started getting into oleums. I feel like I've always been into oleums.
Yeah.
I don't remember the definitive starting point, but I love watching me some Ancient Aliens on History Planet.
History Planet?
History Planet?
Is that a channel?
No, History Channel, but History Planet. Because it's all about our planet.
I get you. I liked Ancient Aliens too, but UFO Files was always more my speed. Because I just never quite bought everything they were selling on Ancient Aliens.
A lot of it's good. A lot
of it's shit.
A lot of it's not good.
A lot of it's very much shit.
I think it's just sometimes they really scrape to get content. They kind
So
of
true.
the first maybe like 5 seasons is like the meat and potatoes of the series.
Yeah.
But everything after that's kind of just like.
And they're still making it, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
God, that's insane. That show's been airing since, God, I was like 10.
A long time. It's been a long
insane.
time.
Long time. You know the are the flying spaghetti monsters considered aliens? I don't think so. I think they are religious phenomena.
Probably.
Spiritual phenomena.
But even stuff like that.
But yeah. Maybe the Bible is actually about aliens and they just didn't know it?
I mean, in one of the revisions of the Bible, who knows which version, Jesus was described to have pale skin and red eyes.
What? I need a source for this. I gotta read that shit. Look, I've got a Bible kicking around at home. I'm not gonna claim to have read it all. But if there is any point where Jesus is described as having pale skin and red eyes, I need to see that.
I don't know which version it is because it's been a long time since I've
To the laptop.
done that. Also, whoever the guy that received the 10 Commandments from the
Moses.
Moses. Yeah. He showed signs of radiation sickness after receiving them, where his hair started to fall out and stuff like that. So, the 10 Commandments could have very much been an artifact that was radioactive.
I don't know what to Google for this. Jesus alien. Jesus alien. Jesus was an alien. Okay. We're getting in deep.
He had superpowers. That is the greatest picture I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, well, the Earth has a face, so it obviously has to be that. Oh God, this is so.
It's a long article.
Oh no. I'm gonna Control F and then red. Oh no, what have I done?
Let this girl use her Catholic schooling to assist. You go, Emily. You go. Oh, John remembers the radiation poisoning. Yeah, we probably talked about it at some point.
Okay, when you said that, I do think I remember whatever episode of Ancient Aliens that was on. But again, I don't know if I buy what they're selling there.
You search for all the red.
Yes. Because if Jesus was a pale-skinned alien with red eyes, read We're really bad at running this whole show.
No, we're doing great. We're already like nonstop talking about stuff, and that's all that it needs to be, right? Right.
I guess.
Right.
Alright, I've been sent a Quora link.
What color was Jesus' skin?
Dark brown. Okay, that makes logical Earth sense. Okay. Yes. I'm buying what they're selling here.
Logical Earth sense. That makes a logical sense.
The hair of his head was... Oh, what? The hair of his head was white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were like blazing fire. 15. His feet were like polished bronze refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the roar of many waters. He held in his right hand 7 stars, and a sharp double-edged sword came from his mouth. His face was like the brightest sun shining at its brightest. What? Eyes red like the what is this? I'm
exposed.
We're being sent secrets. I don't understand. Was that from the core link? Because I'm gonna be real with you, I skimmed it.
Emily, the real MVP of this
Emily,
one.
yes.
All right, pulling through.
I'm searching through this chorus shit now. I don't see any of the info on there. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. The show where we text.
It's important. I'm texting my mod. You're texting the source of the knowledge.
Our insider.
It's not like the first time we've done this. So, while you're doing that, basically the foundation of this is that more or less a lot of the interpretations of gods, goddesses, people of power in ancient religions that have strange supernatural abilities could potentially be seen as, if you believed it, beings from other worlds. Because usually they're described as other worlds, just assuming that the other world, be it heaven, some kind of afterlife, something like that. But more or less, this interpretation is just taking out of the context that they might have come from a different planet or something to share knowledge, wisdom, whatever, help develop humanity as a species, as into a society, trying to transition us from savage mode to non-savage mode, organized civilization. And the way we see these texts in now is the way that they could describe it with their limited vocabulary and understanding of the past. And obviously that's up for debate whether or not that's real, that's the actual interpretation or not. It's going to be different for every single person the way they interpret it, but that's basically the foundation of that, if that makes sense.
What you said.
Yeah, what I said?
Yeah. Yeah, what you said.
It could be angels, Jesus from Christianity. It could be Anunnaki, the gods of different things, like the sun god for Egypt, Zeus for Greek Roman, stuff like that. Everything like that. They could all be seen as
all be aliens.
They could all be seen as aliens, Liams.
Liams.
Because I mean, a lot of them are usually described as riding chariots from the sky.
Chariots of fire.
Chariots of fire.
Chariots of fire.
That's a book.
Yeah, who is it by? Fuck, what's his name?
The fat guy with the short gray hair, who talks with a really heavy accent.
Yes.
That one.
Nice.
Solid.
God, we're so classy on this show.
Oh, Patty's here. Hashtag roasted.
Wait,
hashtag
Chariots of Fire
exposed.
gave me the
Book.
No.
Do book.
I was gonna say it gave me the sports film, which I probably should have expected. Did I say the wrong name? Chariots of the Gods.
Oh.
Okay, so wow. You know, we're
Oh yeah, Eric von Dyken.
Doniken?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Our old friend.
Colleague of ours.
A colleague. Wow, we're good. We're doing good. Yep.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Aliens. We're really killing it tonight.
We are doing great.
I feel like we're still doing more than we did for the number stations one, though, where we just sat and listened.
Look, that was fun.
Too bad we can't just point a telescope outside and hook it up to my computer.
Okay, but could we?
Yeah, if I had one like that.
Shit.
Yeah, but I don't.
What if we point the webcam outside?
We probably wouldn't be able to see anything because it's lit in this room.
It is pretty lit.
Ah, so lit!
Hey! Alright, so where do we go from here?
Also, we're in the middle of a city, so we wouldn't be able to see the...
I don't know. Maybe if we send out a signal to them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of signal?
I don't know. An alien radio signal.
Beep, 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 beep.
Beep, 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 beep. And then they'll see it and be like, oh, time to visit the Doomsday bunker with Pierce. Wait, you just gave away info about our location.
I said we were in a city.
Yeah, but we're in a bunker in the Arizona desert.
Right, within the city. Under the city.
We're in the Arizona desert. We're not in a city.
In the city in the Arizona desert.
Fuck.
The city constitutes 3 rocks.
All right, in
and a flashlight.
A city of mole people.
Mm.
And that's all we are at liberty to say.
That's all there is.
Yeah. Now what?
Have you ever seen the movie The Fourth Kind?
No, actually. I remember when it came out, and I was really bummed when I found out it was not a factual movie.
That's such a good movie.
The one with the creepy owls. Yeah, I remember those ads. They would play on History Channel.
It's got a lot of
During UFO
reenactments
class.
in it, but it does have some old tapes.
What do you mean old tapes?
The majority of the film is a reenactment with the footage of the actual stuff laced in there. So everything that they don't have actual footage from, they have a reenactment of.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Okay.
Go ahead and do your research, though.
Yeah, I basically just read a section that confirmed what you just said. Wait, what is a encounter of the fourth kind then?
Abduction.
That's what I thought. Not a sequel to the Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
No, that's a complete non-fiction film where this is a hybrid.
A hybrid.
Because it has reenactments. Because not everything is recorded.
Wait. Okay, so the fourth kind is an extension of the original scale. The fifth kind is direct communication between aliens and humans.
Go from first through fourth.
Okay, sorry. First is... I should know this off the top of my head. Why don't I know?
It's a sighting, I think.
First is a sighting of an unidentified flying object. The second is a UFO event in which a physical effect is alleged. This can be interference in the functioning of a vehicle or electronic device, animals reacting to physiological effects such as paralysis or heat and discomfort in the witness, or some physical trace like impressions in the ground, scorched or otherwise affected vegetation, or a chemical trace. And the third kind is when an animated creature is present. And that could be humanoids, robots, or humans. So in the fourth, that's the original scale. Then they added more. In the fourth kind is abduction. The fifth kind is direct communication between aliens and humans. The sixth kind is death of a human or animal associated with a UFO sighting. And then the seventh kind is creation of a human-alien hybrid either by sexual reproduction or artificial scientific methods.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So...
Which is right now the ongoing explanation of certain forms of genetic changes in select races of humans that have no correct explanation is potential previous modification. Which is why also there's no missing link between the ancestors of chimpanzees and humanoids. Or not chimpanzees, just primates in general, where there's supposed to be the missing link. There is no missing link because that last animal of that evolutionary change or evolutionary line was taken, altered, and then replaced on the planet sometime very long ago, which is why there's no missing link, because there isn't one.
Just goes so deep.
Ah, so deep.
Ah, so deep.
The deepest of them all. So yeah, I've had my fair share of encounters of the first kind,
Do tell.
which is the
Because
sight.
I've had nothing.
Which is the
I
sightings.
had nothing.
I honestly.
Is it story time?
We can do this. Yeah,
It's story
we can do
time.
this. I honestly always
This is the
thought, with my
centerpiece.
insane fascination of UFOs and aliens, I would never see anything. I would never experience anything. I would never have that one connection to really solidify my belief, which is what a lot of people need. Which is, there's always those people that don't believe in something until they experience it, and then they're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." I do believe the first thing that I can remember, I think it was with Britain. He probably won't remember because this was a significant amount of time ago.
Yeah.
But I do believe it was with him. We were just.
Around what age were you?
I literally could not tell you.
Okay.
I literally could not tell you.
So ballpark at like 7 or below, probably.
Higher than that.
10?
Maybe. I think it was middle school age range.
Jeez, okay. Well, I was assuming if Austin couldn't remember it.
He might not remember it because it might not have been, "Oh my god," to him like it is to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
So
Continue.
So if it was with him or without him, I don't really remember. That was not the significant piece of this. We were, you know, my parents' house. There's the back deck that everybody goes inside my house with, but there's also the front one that's it's whatever.
Yeah.
We were laying on the front deck at night, just looking up, looking at the stars and stuff. I think they were supposed to be looking for shooting stars or some shit. I don't know. We were doing dorky shit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Nerd shit.
And I noticed what I assumed as a satellite, because you can see them just floating all the time if you look hard enough for them, and you see them because they're really small to see.
Yeah.
I noticed I was watching it just kind of float. We'll do this in the camera. I was watching it just kind of float down, and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's that satellite just kind of going." And then I looked over here, which would be the opposite direction. So this one was approaching. It's hard to map it to space and directions because that's not how directions work in space. But this one would have been approaching from south west heading to the east. So south, moving kind of like southeast. And this one was heading north. I saw another satellite moving northwest along the same plane. So they're kind of going. And I was like, wow, that's cool. They're going to go past each other. And they approached each other. And this is where shit went wild. Once one went past, they both turned and spun around each other and then shot off in the opposite directions and disappeared at obscenely fast speeds. And I was just like, that's not how things in space work. Because no, that's not how that works. So that was the first thing that I can remember seeing like that. Just completely blew my mind. Like, these things just spun around each other and then shot in different directions, just gone out of there. Craziness. I will never forget that because of just how wild it was. Okay. So that is the first thing that I can remember.
So was that your first encounter of the first kind?
Right.
And then how many have you had since then?
I can literally only remember 2 right now, but I think I just remembered another one. This one actually left physical damage to my body, and I'll tell you why.
What the fuck?
I know. Okay, this is gonna be wild.
Is that the big story?
Nope. No, because I just remembered this.
Oh my god.
I don't know why this is a good idea, but my grandfather lives in town, and my parents lived obviously out of town, 10 miles or so. Yeah. I don't know why, but my sister and I were at my grandpa's house and just had this brilliant idea of like, let's just ride our bikes home. 10 miles isn't that far.
I mean, it's not.
No, it's not, but it still wasn't enjoyable.
No.
So about halfway down Blair Road, I think it was recently past where Cole lives, in between, to my right, which would be east, that way? Yeah, east.
Yes.
Yep. I saw just a metallic kind of ovalish object just floating very high in the sky. Very high in the sky. And I was just like, what is this? What is this just sitting here? Because it wasn't moving at all. So I'm a younger lad, not as coordinated as now.
And this was after the first one.
After the first one, right. So I'm literally just riding my bike down the side of the road, looking up at this thing, just watching it. So I'm not paying attention to where I'm going at all. I just totally crash the bike. Totally just crash the bike, completely wreck my knee, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. And I'm freaking out because of that. And I was like, what was I doing? And I was like, oh yeah, I was looking at the silver thing. And I look back up, and it's not there anymore.
Did your sister see it?
No, because she was in front of me, and I never was like, hey, look at that weird thing before I fell off my bike, and it was already gone at that point. And I was just like...
Okay, so that's number 2.
Yeah.
Second chronologically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was the third?
The third would be after the main event, but I will still talk about this anyways.
Which one?
The third, first kind,
okay,
happens... I think it happened about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm not the only one that witnessed this one.
Who else was there?
My parents, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? Okay, so let's hear this one.
We were standing on my back deck.
Yes.
And if you're facing out towards the wood, which would be directly east again, the east man, to the north, that's where my house extends that way. There used to be a big I don't know, it was some kind of Asian wood tree. I can't tell you the exact thing. It got cut down. Okay.
Yeah.
It was that was right there. And it was a relatively clear night. There was still some clouds, which is why I didn't see this thing coming. And it was at a very low altitude. Like this, it was just a bright ball. Like I would classify it into the type of UFO which is just called ball of fire, where its definitive shape is literally just an orb of light. But it's very high intensity. Usually you see them very high altitudes in clusters, and they're kind of dim because of how high up they are. This is actually very low to the ground, so it appeared very large and of very, very high like luminosity or whatever. And it started to just move. So my deck was this way. Over here would be that tree or whatever. Yeah. It appeared from up here and just kind of moved along that tree line that's right there, going out towards the field that's behind my house and the wood line that's out there, and it just floated very slowly, just kept traveling.
And how big was it?
How big was it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty big. Okay. It's hard to explain the size of an object and it was in the air away.
Yeah.
It was low to the ground and it was pretty big.
It was low to the ground.
It was pretty low to the ground, yeah, because like if it went in front of a tree, it would disappear. Because it was low to the ground.
Okay.
I would say that, like, looking at it, it looked about this big in the sky, whereas something normally would be, like, I don't know, really small, like the size of a pen tip or something. It was pretty big. It was pretty big. Okay. You could tell it was relatively nearby. Okay. I just thought of another thing, too. And I'm trying to piece it.
Fucking many.
I'm gonna slowly try to piece it together in my head right now. Okay. While I continue explaining this one. Okay. This one was even more recent.
Holy Christ.
Like, whenever I took Astro with Cam and Logan.
What?
Astronomy. Oh. Okay, so back to this one. So yeah, it just kept kind of moving that way, and it eventually dipped underneath the tree line that was behind my house and just disappeared. So we just stood there and watched it the entire time that we could, and it was moving so slow. So this was clearly not like a conventional aircraft that needs to use speed plus wind resistance under it to stay up. It was just a ball of fire. Just completely silent, no noise, nothing.
And what'd your parents think of it?
They were just making jokes about how it was a UFO, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's literally what it is. Yeah. Like, why is this not important to you people? It was crazy. It was so clear, and it was incredible to just be able to sit there and watch it go. Just float on its way. It's crazy.
So it disappeared over the woods or into the woods?
Over top of it, like, because you couldn't, because the tree line would be like this, and it kind of drifted and eventually like dipped down behind the trees as it was going this direction. That's how low to the ground it was you could see it dip below. The other one I just remembered, since I literally just remembered it, it's kind of hazy, but it was when I was traveling south on the expressway from Mount Pleasant to Alma. It was a relatively cloudy day. It was some weird shaped object over to the west. The sun was setting too, so it was like crazy like purples and shit over there. Yeah. It was some weird object that was traveling kind of slow, but I basically was able to follow it all the way from Mount Pleasant to Alma, and when I got into Alma, it was above Alma, and then eventually lost it in the clouds. It also wasn't just it was just a shape. It wasn't like, it didn't have any blinking lights like an aircraft is required. It didn't leave any contrails like a jet. It was just this shape. It was like a dark color. It was really odd. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. If I had clues as a professor still, I would tell him, because the last day of class for Astro was Alien Day, minus the exam. So, yeah, that was crazy. I saw that. Because the reason it was so crazy to me is because we literally just talked about that in class, too. So, that was that weird stuff that I saw.
Okay.
That's all that I can remember of sightings.
Okay.
At this exact moment.
And then what was the other type of encounter you had?
I just want to read this stuff really quick.
Okay. I got roasted in there. I saw that much.
Are you the alien?
That was the joke, yeah.
I got you.
Not her joke, but someone else's. Increasingly spooked as we build up to the main event.
I love how John actually like responded to that, or he doesn't count. In case you're wondering, you don't count. It's okay.
I understand.
Pat you on the back.
I have not seen District 9.
I have.
I've seen the short film that became District 9, but that's it. It's all Jurassic Gazilla 1207 has been to the Bermuda Triangle. We'll do a Bermuda Triangle episode one of these days. Lord only knows when.
I have people from work messaging me right now like, guys, I'm busy. Chill.
Guys, I'm talking about aliens with my friends on the internet.
Right. That's basically it.
This is more important than that. This is more important than capitalism. This will be the downfall of capitalism.
Okay.
If we play our cards right.
So,
is this the big one?
Yeah, it's the thing that haunts me and gives me panic attacks at night when I remember that this actually happened to me, and that I was completely powerless, and that it could happen again at any time, and I also probably don't know all the details relating to this specific event. So this is the thing that I remember whenever I'm afraid of losing something, being injured, being killed, literally anything. I think, and if I remember this event, I go, oh yeah, it's probably isn't the worst outcome of my life.
Oh, okay. So, let's tell our weird internet friends all about this.
Okay.
What can I start off with a question though? What type of encounter was it? To start us off.
This could be if there was 2.5.
Okay.
So physical effects with the presence of a being.
So it was a second and a third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But there was, well, I guess just tell your story.
Okay.
The next question.
Okay.
You tell me.
So at an older age, I moved into the basement of my parents' house.
Yes.
For space, and because it's way not super hot at night in the summer living in a basement.
Yeah.
This was before I did that. So basically the circumstances of this day and setup here, my room upstairs is the tandem room to my older sister's room. The only thing that separates us is one drywall section. So they're up against each other. She had a friend over that night too. So she had a friend over that was sleeping. So they were both in this room asleep.
Yes.
And my old super hypersensitive dog, you probably never met her.
This wasn't the Grudge?
No, not the Grudge. Was also in that room as well. Okay. This dog will bark at anything. Like, she'll hear squirrels scratching a tree outside and
go off.
Freak out.
Okay.
So that was where that was set up. I was in my room, and it was late at night, and it was way too hot to really sleep effectively in my bed, because the higher up you are, the warmer it gets. Yeah. Plus, bed mattress retains a lot of heat. So I literally just put all my shit on the floor and was just gonna sleep on my floor. And I had a big box fan kind of near my feet to the right, which is also where the direction of my door was. So my feet were towards my closet door and the exit of my room, and my bed would be horizontally behind me, and then my window and stuff is back there. And I am sleeping on the floor, and I wake up at night, and I don't really know why I wake up. Usually when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like still kind of tired or whatever, but I'm just awake, just awake. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is why am I up? And I can't get up because I'm being held in place. Okay. So there's something within my room holding me in place. Like I can feel the weight like this. Okay. But I can't see anything in my room because it's dark. Usually there's, still light or whatever, like ambient from outside, because country living, moon glow or whatever. Literally nothing. Okay. Literally nothing. And I can't move. So when I'm being held down on the floor of my room in the middle of the night, what would you do? I just start fucking screaming as loud as I can, just literally screaming for help, because I know there are two people in the room next door, and also my dog, which would wake up if I'm screaming. And I'm sitting there screaming probably 15 seconds or so, and then I am released. And I immediately, when the weight is gone off of my shoulders, I basically trample that fan in front of me, just smash it, and turn my light on, and my room is completely empty, and nobody heard me screaming in the entire house. Nobody was able to hear what was happening in my room at all. Okay. Is that not odd?
Yeah, that's odd.
And it gives me anxiety anytime I sleep.
So, were your parents home?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't hear?
No, because I went and asked my sister, did you just hear me screaming a second ago? No.
So, what happened after that?
I just sat in my living room and stared into the kitchen the rest of the night. Where there's the little oven light, so I can see what's going on. I just sat there all night and didn't sleep.
Yeah. So, that was your last one, your last encounter.
Right.
And obviously your most visceral encounter.
The one that scares me.
Until you saw the thing out on your
right,
porch.
the ball that floats.
Okay. So, have you assumed that all of these appearances are connected?
No, probably not connected.
Okay. So then why?
The weird orb floating really close to my house is unsettling, but that was enough time apart where I would not think much of it as a connection. Yeah. But that was the weird kind of experience that I had, and and that gives me anxiety a lot at night.
I would imagine.
Because I'm like, if I go to sleep tonight,
is it gonna happen
am I gonna wake up to this Or am I not going to wake up and have this happen in my sleep and not know what goes on from there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know what would have continued to happen if I remained asleep through the night.
Yeah.
But the way I woke up was just so odd because I went from completely dead asleep to 100% awake with no groggy middleness at all. Now it takes me an hour to get out of bed in the morning. But that was just like, I'm awake. Woke AF.
So, what makes you believe that it was an alien encounter as opposed to a ghostly encounter, as we will get to in, I'm sure, later episodes, since your home and general area is noted for its spectral presences?
Because this was nothing like any of that other weird stuff that's ever happened.
Okay.
I've never had anything physical before.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you look into reports of alien encounters, alien abductions, anything like that, you will see a common trend of the affected people. The oppressor does not care if there are other people around, because no matter what transpires during the events of the encounter, the other people in the area will never know what's happening. People, in a lot of stories, people will be in the same room. They'll be sleeping couples in the same bed.
Yeah.
The partner in that relationship will be under some kind of effect where they literally will not wake up, no matter what happens in that situation. And I was awake and I was screaming as loud as I possibly could because I thought I was, going to die or something. Just sheer panic screams.
Yeah.
And nobody in my house, including my psycho dog, heard that at all. It was suppressed.
Yeah.
Whereas I've never seen a report of a spiritual encounter that has anything like that at all. At all. Literally nothing.
So my next question would be, why would it be you?
Why would it be anybody?
Yeah.
There's no connection between anybody.
Oh no, like I'm saying, like, it is so random.
Right, yeah.
So, like, why? This is the type of shit I feared happening to me as a child reading all of this shit.
Hey, at least it didn't happen to you. But it
me.
happened to me.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Well, I can confirm that it at least happened / almost happened to me one time.
So...
But I also don't know what has happened to me in my sleep.
Oh boy.
Which is part of the reason that it really doesn't help me. I honestly do believe that this event is what slowly developed into my insomnia and choosing to, if I could sleep, not sleep at night until I saw the sunrise.
Yeah.
Because I was less afraid when I can see what's happening to me.
Yeah.
Because part of that was I couldn't see because of how dark it was. It was abnormally dark, but it was still dark.
Yeah. So...
And
assuming...
after that realization too, previously to that, I used to have a insane fear of the dark.
Really?
And that shifted into, I'm no longer afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of what is in the dark that I can't see.
Yeah.
Which is a completely different concept altogether.
So, I'm assuming you did your due diligence and Googled the hell out of this after it happened?
Well, I'd already had a brief understanding, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because, like, did you see if other people had similar or identical experiences? Or
I haven't seen anything exactly like mine besides the connections of other people in the area being suppressed to the event, not knowing that it's happening.
That's interesting.
Unable to know it's happening, for lack of a better term.
That's freaky. My other thought was, it sounds a lot like reports of sleep paralysis and night terrors.
Right. I am aware of that too. But usually those people will go back to sleep after that and remember that again in the morning. Whereas I was awake at this point and I never transitioned from falling back to sleep and waking up later. It was me just getting up
You were like
but
fully awake.
Yeah, I was fully awake, and my screams were real enough to where I could hear them echoing off the walls. Like if I yelled really loud in this room, you would hear it reverberate off the walls. This did nothing like that, because I would love to just say that I had sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But then again, I've never had anything like that afterwards, and usually people that suffer sleep paralysis, it's a thing that happens to them more than once. Where that was the one time it happened.
I don't like this.
I don't like it either.
Oh fuck. So, what happened when you told your family and everyone in the place about it? Nothing?
They thought I was freaking stupid.
I imagine.
Like, how do you explain that to somebody and have them believe you?
Yeah.
Which is the which happens with a lot of people. Which is why so many people just don't talk about things when stuff like that happens to them, because like, why would someone believe me anyways?
How are you feeling?
I'm okay right now.
That's good.
I'm still like, I'm not like, wow, I'm so happy to be alive.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm here right now.
I don't even know where to go from here.
Which is why previously to telling that, which is why I asked you if you'd ever watched The Fourth Kind, is because there's stuff like that kind of happens in that. Because the main foundation of that film is the person the film is basically based off of is a sleep researcher for a secluded town in Alaska where they've had a lot of people have problems of insomnia and night terrors, things like that, and she like uses that weird form of like hypnosis where they're like half asleep and you can kind of like ask them questions and they subconsciously remember things. And she's doing that to people to have them remember why they can't sleep, and a lot of them like literally start to like freak out and reenact nights where they've been encountering things. And one of the guys that she has remember like jumps off the couch and like hides behind the couch and is like crying hysterically, like basically in disbelief. And at the end of their session or whatever, he doesn't tell her what he remembered, and he goes home and murders his family and kills himself. Okay. Because that's a more peaceful resolution than experiencing whatever had happened to him again.
Well, shit.
Yeah, and one of the things that she does is, since this isn't like super recent event that happens, a lot of her like journal recordings are like literally like audio tapes that she records like on cassette tapes. And she like basically goes through all her stuff that she did through that day for the cases or whatever, and she records those before she goes to sleep. And I can't remember what the exact reason was later on in the film, but her tape is basically full and it shouldn't be, like it's completely recorded over, and she goes through and listens to it, and the last thing that's actually recorded on that is her doing her nightly recording, and then she has an encounter on tape. She has the encounter on tape,
but then she has no memory.
She has no memory of it, and she goes through and she checks her room for a scuffle, and her fingernail marks are carved into the wood floor leading out of her room, and she has like really fucked up fingernails.
Nice.
And her memory is also altered because her husband is dead in the film, and her memory is that someone came into their room and killed him in their sleep, just shot him. But in reality, he actually commits suicide because he was working the same case and realized what was happening. And their daughter is also taken, and it's still a missing report. She had a son too, and her son just like completely like abstains from everything and just like claims she's crazy or whatever and doesn't get involved. It's a really crazy film, I'm not gonna lie. But like the recording of her has them like talking. She's like yelling at the beings or whatever, whoever takes her basically in her sleep, because previously before that is when her daughter goes missing, and she's screaming at them to give them her daughter back, and they speak in like distorted ancient Sumerian, and it says like "I am your god" and stuff like that to her, but nobody speaks Sumerian except for like a few people. Yeah. But they basically claim that they are their god or whatever, and her daughter has like remained missing ever since this.
Is that the so is this part of the movie like the alleged actual tapes, or is this
These are all the actual recordings.
Okay.
Most of the weird shit that happens in the film is what the actual recordings are. They just do the reenactments to explain the gaps in time.
Okay. I feel like this movie's fucked up.
It's actually horrifying. Like, it's one of the scariest films I've ever watched, and it's even worse knowing that like the scary parts of the film are the non-reenacted portions.
Yeah. Did you see that before or after your
After.
encounter?
I've seen that after.
That must have been pleasant.
Yeah, like PTSD.
Yeah. So. Take you don't rewatch it a lot.
I think I've watched it twice, and I can't forget it.
Yeah.
Because the main connection that everyone had, all the patients on their hypnosis, before they start to freak out and remember what actually happens, they basically all claim to see the same thing, and it's a white snow owl watching them from the window.
I remember that from all of the ads and whatever viral marketing there was for that.
Right.
So I remember getting super into that.
It was a white snow owl watching them from their window. And
Yeah, it was the creepiest goddamn advertisement in the world.
And then those are the same owls that enter their room, but they morph into the beings.
I don't need that in my life. No one needs that in their life.
No.
I will try to speak up for you, John. Sorry.
Holy shit, how far back? How long was I talking?
A while.
How long is it? I'm trying to read comments, but I have to figure out. Okay.
This is stuff you already read. This is I'm the alien personality and everything, remember?
There's John talking about how we ride our skateboards 20 miles at night sometimes. Yeah, that was one thing we did, was we would sneak out of my house and ride our skateboards to town.
Was it really sneaking out?
We went out the window.
No, I forgot about that. Back when that was a thing.
Yeah. Oh, but John was talking about baby owls earlier when Emily, what do you think aliens actually look like?
Those white snow owls. Man, we've only been recording this about an hour, haven't we?
Only about an hour. Yeah, because we're 4 hours in. Thanks YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube. You never let us down, you know that?
Covered that.
I'm gonna say I saw them talking about it.
Stop wavering. Reed, why are you so whisper?
Because I'm spooked. We're just catching up.
Yeah, if it's awkward right now, it's just I'm trying to read from everything I didn't read when I was speaking, because I don't, like, I stare subconsciously when I remember horrible things. Sick dab.
Thank you. Got a dab on him.
Oh yeah, you gotta talk. You gotta speak up, Reed. What the fuck, man?
I'm trying.
Reed's a quiet boy.
I will fucking swallow the mic if that's what it takes for you to hear me. I will do it.
I have a text massage. Oh, okay.
Alright, so, where do we go from here?
I don't know. This is the part where I'm gonna feel uneasy the rest of the night, is explaining this whole thing. Like, this is the part where I'm gonna be like, oh,
well,
we could end with some fun alien shenanigans then. I don't know what that would be. But it could happen.
Like what?
I don't fucking know.
It doesn't help that the mic is mostly in front of Pierce. Yeah,
I thought it was directly in
hog.
between us. There, complain now.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No.
Fuck.
Your reception's not good enough.
Look up Open Minds magazine. This better be legit, whatever it is. Open Minds UFO magazine. .tv is the thing. Is this a television program? We are on the web. We don't believe in TV.
Program.
Oh, it seems like a nice little magazine about UFOs. But digital, I think. All digital now.
Do you believe that the government is preventing us knowledge of understanding aliens exist? Preventing us from finding out? Do you think that they know?
I don't think they're preventing us necessarily.
Do you think that they know and they just don't inform us like a casual thing? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, aliens exist.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like it's one of those things where they're like, you know, it's a need to know basis. They don't need to know right now. Which implies a giant conspiracy that I only have a half-hearted belief in.
Which is that
Someday they may need to know, and then we will tell them.
okay.
When we do our marathon episode, where we connect all the government conspiracies, I feel like this is the basis for it.
Right here.
It's like, yeah, like what
this
I
goes
just
back
said.
very far.
Like
so.
it goes to Roswell. Like we have a pin in the center of the whiteboard, and that's Roswell, and everything expands from there in every direction. Or maybe World War I.
Or WWI.
Wait, what is it? The ski incident? Muskie? Just a second. 1 minute. I hate this computer.
Why? Because you don't understand how the touchpad works?
Hush, boy.
There's a line in the middle if you can't see it.
Yeah. What about it?
That's how you know where you're clicking
I
and what you're
understand
clicking.
that. I can't think of the name of it. The thing where there was a big explosion in the Arctic at the turn of the century. I think it was at the turn of the century.
The Big Bang.
No. Ugh. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, please tell me so I can figure out what the fuck it is. That was wrong.
Oh, John wants to be here for the marathon episode because he's a very big conspiracy kind of man. We'll have to organize it around a time that he can.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
This is far along in the future.
Yeah, this is gonna require some hefty planning, but yep.
This is gonna require some planning, a lot of Taco Bell shit.
You'll be there, John. We'll figure it out.
A couple days off from work to recover.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting in deep. Whatever. I'm done. I'm done looking this up.
You can't figure it out.
No, I can't think of the fucking name of it. I'll think of it as soon as I get home tonight.
Do you think that Roswell was an alien, or do you think it was a weather balloon?
Weather balloon.
You think it was a weather balloon?
Yeah, I think it was a weather balloon. I don't see any reason to believe anything else. Although the pictures of the alien autopsy haunted me as a child. Remember those?
Yeah.
Those were buck wild.
They're still not debunkable to this day. Did you know that?
Really now.
Really?
Really now. Let me do. I'm discovering our roles here. Are you the person with the unwavering general belief in all of this, and I'm the one who's generally like, yeah, I want to see the receipts.
The receipts.
Show me your receipts. And the receipts are inevitably a quick glance at the Wikipedia page.
Yep, there's also an alien autopsy video that came out at some point.
I believe, is that also Roswell?
I think it's the same thing, right?
I believe I've seen that.
Yeah,
as well.
that is to this day still unable to be debunked.
Alien.
and of all the expert analysis they've done, is either the conclusion is either it's a hoax so elaborately done that they'll never be able to figure out that it was fake, or
Well,
it's real.
it looks like the alien autopsy footage was the person who put it out admitted that it was fake.
Okay.
So there's that.
So there's probably a separate one that I'm talking about at this
I'm
point.
not sure. I'm gonna try and look it up because I think this said it came out in '95. So I'm gonna look that up. Sorry, I'm opening so many tabs. I can't spell.
All the tabs. Tab Lord.
That shit.
I think that's the one. Could be.
Get spooked. We're not even gonna display
I do
this.
believe the one I'm thinking of is in color, though, so this could be the problem.
It's still creepy shit.
That's still horrendous looking.
Yeah, it is. It's actually the worst thing I've ever seen. This does not look like 1950s camera work, or 1940s, whatever.
But it would be state-of-the-art 1940s.
Well, that's the thing. It would
Bone
be
saw, cranking out the bone
It would be
saw.
state of the art by a few years too many for me to go along with it.
It still looks absolutely horrible.
Yeah. All right.
So, I guess my next where I would go from here is, do you think that every time a UFO visits the planet, it's coming from its actual point of origin, like a home, like their planet or nearest colony? Or do you think that they have the of the two suspected, the moon colonies or the submersed colonies in the ocean, in the trenches, that we cannot...
Oh, you mean our moon, first of all?
Our moon and our oceans.
Ain't nothing on our moon.
Not the exterior.
Oh, inside the moon?
Interior.
You're talking about hollow moon theory.
Mm-hmm. Which has scientific backing without relating any conspiracy.
I've never bought into the I've never bought into hollow moon theory. The ocean shit, I don't fuck around with the ocean. The ocean can have its secrets. But I don't want to picture any little green men popping out of the Gulf Pacific Ocean. We're having technical difficulties, please stand by.
I honestly think that the hollow moon would be a
Digging up the hollow moon.
Thing.
Cracking that egg open.
Because the two pieces of the evidence that backs this theory right now are the fact that the moon has craters that we cannot calculate the depth of, which is meaning that they're basically never ending. So they empty into a chasm.
Did you say in the moon?
In the moon has craters that just don't end. They're that deep that they just don't end. And also, at some point, I don't remember when exactly it happened, but a meteorite impacted the moon and it rang for 3 days like a bell. Those are the two things.
Okay, again, I'm doing my Wikipedia research, and they lead off on the hollow moon page with no scientific evidence exists to support the idea. So I'm immediately skeptical. However, they do not cite that statement, so I'm also skeptical of this, so I don't know where I stand on this theory.
Those are the only two pieces of information that I know that are supportive of it.
The moon rang like a bell.
Yeah.
Holy shit. They've got a heading on their Wikipedia page for this.
Yeah.
I am excited. Oh, Pierce, buddy. I'm into this.
Yeah? Do you like it?
It's creepy. It's ringing like a bell. There's no evidence of any large empty space inside the body. Okay. still don't buy it, but I think the fact that it rang like a bell is really fucking cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty radical.
So more or less, that
That's my
idea
favorite.
is that if it is hollow, the pits would be the entry and exit points. The base would be on the inside, so we cannot
Yes.
easily detect it. We can't just
Yes.
point our telescopes and go, "Oh, look at that! There they are."
So it's really easy to say they're there, we just can't see them. And that's the thing here.
Isn't that the foundation for all religion?
I would argue that it's faith.
I can't have
Which is
faith
different.
that the moon is hollow.
You can have faith.
See, it's all the same.
All right.
It's all the same. There we go.
All right.
Connect the dots. Whoop! There's a line straight through that.
Fine. Oh, okay, I want to go back to this ocean thing.
Right.
Which,
Because there's
I
a lot of
haven't thought
accounts of
about-
USOs.
yes, there are. And the ocean's a scary, spooky place.
Very scary.
Man, I wish I thought I had something I could add to that. I guess no. But if Aquaman is an alien, I'm totally down for it.
I hate you already.
Why? What's wrong with Aquaman?
He's not real.
I can't have faith that Aquaman's real.
No, because that's we're literally actually taking something that we know was created in a nonfiction format.
Okay, so let's assume there's a kingdom of aliens underwater.
Could it be Atlantis? Could the
Where-
lost city of Atlantis just been a giant alien megastructure that sunk into the ocean and or floated off and left? Which is why it disappeared?
And where does Aquaman live?
I guess Atlantis.
There you go!
Fucking hate you.
Aquaman's real. If this theory's real, if this theory's true, Aquaman confirmed.
Sure.
Or Mermaid Man.
Barnacle Boy.
And Barnacle Boy.
Invisible boatmobiles and UFO!
And the dude with the helmet thingy.
Stingray?
Stingray.
Manta Ray. Manta Ray.
Man Ray. Yes.
Is this your wallet?
And then the bubble dude. And all of the heroes. Aqualad.
Dom and Austin have a valid question. Austin has a question. Is the science of digging up ancient alien burial sites called Alientology?
See,
I would hope.
I read that and chose to ignore it.
Oh, that's actually very good. The paleontologist asked if we've heard of the Black Knight satellite.
I
Have you?
haven't.
I
No,
have.
I'm about to Google it.
I think that it's a very fascinating thing. I know of the Black Knight
Man, there's a
satellite.
Wikipedia page for everything. Your report does of extra category. What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Isn't that cool?
What?
Go ahead and read a brief introductory paragraph so everyone knows what we're talking about.
The Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory claims that there is a spacecraft in near polar orbit of the Earth that is of extraterrestrial origin, and that NASA is engaged in a cover-up regarding its existence and origin. This conspiracy theory combines several unrelated stories into one narrative. That's my favorite kind of conspiracy theory. A 1998 NASA photo is believed by some to show the Black Knight satellite, but NASA has stated this is likely space debris, specifically a thermal blanket lost during an AVA mission. I don't know. I see it like my instinct is to go with dun 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 dun, but I feel like that's probably not
the right one. Yeah.
But regardless, it's spelled EVA. Okay, so the crux of this theory is there's just something floating around the Earth of extraterrestrial origin.
Yeah.
That's it? That's the gist of it?
Basically, and we
Well,
have
that's plausible. And, we might
and
have a
there's
photo of
there's
it.
the it's photographed every once in a while.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of things about you being able to ping radio frequencies off of it every once in a while.
Okay.
But they basically just deny that the entire thing exists entirely, but there is that photograph of it, so.
Well, I won't say they deny it exists entirely, because they definitely acknowledge it if they're saying it's space debris, which is basically in line with what this is saying, what this conspiracy theory is, which is that something's floating around us.
It's kind of like one of those things that it's been here longer than we have, and it might be some kind of like monolithic type. Yeah.
The monolith from 2001.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Basically, as a silent observer, as our species evolves on this planet.
Oh, you're describing the plot of the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Which I've actually never watched.
You would probably hate it. No, I'm down for that. I got nothing now.
Jonathan sent me something.
I swear to God, if it's some bullshit.
Whatever you sent, John,
Did not work.
it didn't work. It gave me a Google URL shortener 404 error.
Please try again, John. Oh, is it just the image of the satellite from the
Oh
90s?
yeah,
we got that.
We have that.
We're just choosing not to display it for all of you.
to
keep you safe.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's the problem with using the laptop now. We can't display things as easily. Black Knight Satellite, by the way, I claim it for my metal band name. So
Black Knight Satellite.
yeah, so don't fucking take it, any of you. That is spooky.
This is actually
It's the one.
there's
to the
yeah
left.
there's two different pictures of it from different points in time. Yeah, there's also this one too.
That's rad. It's like a little boat. It's like a little whale.
This is what we're talking about. More or less this, but this is the other one. That's what we're talking about. That's the Black Knight Satellite. Let's also pull up a picture of snow owl aliens.
I don't want that. They're creepy.
I'm just typing in all caps.
Mm.
This is the picture of the baby owls. Do those not haunt you?
Dude, I know baby owls are creepy. You know, why you gotta do me like that? Ugh.
Yeah, this is like the weird kind of spooky scary.
I really like the Tumblr description there. Owls and aliens have a lot in common. You know they do.
You know, they're creepy and they watch
Creepy?
people at night.
Big eyes, bigger hearts.
I wonder if I have any foreign bodies. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I actually watched a documentary recently about someone getting theirs removed. It was in the top of their hand, and it had like lethal quantities of poisonous metals just in their body that they would never ever come in contact with in their normal life, and yet somehow they never had any side effects of it dying. It was called like Patient 17 or something like that.
I don't need that in my brain, in my hand. I don't need that anywhere. Have you gotten yourself X-ray?
No, I actually haven't gotten an X-ray because since that happened, because that was after I broke my ribs as a child that all that stuff happened. So I wouldn't I wouldn't have a recent X-ray. What if I ever get?
Maybe it's time.
Can I get an X-ray? Just check out, see if everything's okay.
I want to know if there's any aliens all up in my biz.
So yeah, there's that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Who is that?
It's Patrick.
Oh, hey Patrick.
You know what I'm talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
It's just a pelican from Halo. You know, just floating. Dom knows what it is.
I think that's more Austin knows what it is, to be honest.
That could be. Sounds like chemtrails or Flint water.
Yikes. We'll do
Is
chemtrails.
Flint water like a nationally known thing at this point, or is it just?
The Flint water crisis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been nationally known, dude.
Well, do you think that it actually gets reported in other states as a frequent basis compared to
Yeah.
Michigan?
Yeah, it was right off the bat.
Okay. Because I would never know because it's something that you would see on local news.
No, it was a big deal. It still is a big deal. I mean, it got the president here.
I guess.
Yes,
That's never fixed anything though.
that's true.
I'm like, oh yeah, that sucks. Have a good day.
Well, regardless, we're not covering the Flint water crisis on this here show. I don't think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
I will gladly talk about chemtrails. We'll gladly talk about Hollow Moon and Hollow Earth and Flat Earth. We need to get to Flat Earth real soon, I feel like. We gotta capitalize on that while it's big.
I saw a tweet today.
Yeah. Me too.
It was flat earthers have support from all over the globe. Someone just circled globe like,
Well,
what the fuck are you
it's
talking
true.
about?
It's true. All over the globe.
All over the globe.
All over this great flat Earth of ours.
They should have said all over the plate or something.
All over the plate. All over the platter. The tray.
Oh man. Idiots.
I don't know where we're going from here, dude.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
What haven't we really like talked about in depth about aliens?
This has been a very personal episode of
It
aliens,
really
I'd
has.
say.
I mean, we kind of knew it would be though.
Yeah. We kind of went in broad strokes, and then we launched into the hyper-personal, and now we're just bullshitting.
Okay, so yeah, they talk about the front water crisis at Cali, according to Patrick.
See?
Okay, cool.
See? It's still a big controversy. It's just more subdued now. It is fading into memory, I'd say, which is unfortunate because it's still poison down there. Anyway.
So was my memory of that event.
Hey! Nice way to
Reel it
tie
in.
it in there.
Reel it in.
All right. Should we? I'm assuming we're wrapping it up about now.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I got anything else. We can always come back at a later date with more information and less personal
yeah, we can
stories.
definitely do more focused episodes about aliens in the future.
We can pick specific things.
Yeah. So what do we want to do next week? That was the question, or the week after, because we're every other week now.
Yeah. Unless we can do it next
Unless
week,
we
then
can.
we might as well. But
All right. Well,
the next episode.
Yeah. What's the next episode?
What do we? I don't know. Did you want to do your mushroom people? Whatever the fuck.
Well, I'd need to coordinate with two others on that.
Those the two talking.
No, Austin, and then another friend who is not here, Cassie.
Where is they?
They're both in Mount Pleasant, but they're both people with lives and things. I don't know if they're free on each. I'm assuming I can get Austin here because he's here right now. I don't know about Cassie, so I'll work that out. But we'll say that's a later time.
Okay. So next episode?
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure. Probably. So, Flat Earth, Hollow Moon, chemtrails, Bigfoot, Chupacabra, gay frogs,
Just do an Alex Jones episode.
our Alex Jones tribute episode.
Have to find a blue button-up shirt. And have nothing on underneath it and have it like unbuttoned down so you can see my chest hair. We can always go back and do Mothman, which is supposed to be episode 1. We just skipped it.
I still don't know jack shit about Mothman.
Hey, you got a whole 2 weeks to figure it out. So much time for research.
You know what I won't do in that time? Any research about Mothman.
Maybe someday we'll have an episode prepared more than 5 minutes before we start.
Maybe. I was looking shit up about this about 2 hours before we came, and then we didn't talk about any of it because your story ended up being better than anything I could have said. To be fair, though, it was about 2 minutes of research I did. Okay, so...
We'll figure it out. Potentially Mothman. Who knows?
You're gonna have to really take the... Like if we do that, we could have, like, you take the lead on it and you teach me about Mothman.
Okay, I'll have to go through and do all my shit.
Swag. So Mothman?
Mothman.
Mothman it is. Maybe we'll stick to
Since
it
it
this
is
time.
relevant again.
Yes. How so?
He's migrated to Chicago.
Oh yeah, Doy. So he's in our neck of the woods, kinda. He's
Kind
in the
of.
Midwest. Beautiful.
I'll be in Chicago in July. Maybe I'll see him.
With any luck.
Oh, my viewers still don't know yet. I'll tell them at a later date.
Oh, he's got more secrets.
We'll tell them at a later date.
I'm an open book, you guys. If you ever need anything from me, you can just ask. Alright, should we hit the road? Hit the bricks? Hunker down?
Yeah. It's been
It's been real.
not pleasant of a night.
Oh,
Maybe
it
you'll
was-
see me again in 2 weeks.
It was grim.
Maybe you won't.
You'll probably see us again in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Or 1. Who knows? Maybe next Tuesday we're just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Well, we'll figure it out.
I mean, at my current occupation, I will always be free at this time of night because we are closed before
Me
then.
too. Sorry, John. I will stop whispering.
Venom Mothman.
Is that a combination of Venom and Mothman?
Or Venomoth and Mothman. Or Venom and Mothman, who knows? Alright, we're done. We're done.
We're done. No more.
Good
It's been
good thing, everyone.
Stay safe out there, true believers.
Or don't.
Or don't.